Listen well to this story I tell, for some is fact and some is fiction, but all of it is true. I'm Bradley Rolfe, and I'm reading my blog. Originally posted December 22nd, 2017. STL Theater Review 2017, Part 6. Part 6. Almost Maine is just a terrible show. I saw Almost Maine for the first time this year, and I hated it. To be clear, the Student Experimental Theater Organization at SIUE assembled a commendable production. There were talented performers on stage, and I really liked the staging. They put forth a great effort to transport us even before the show began. The usher welcomed each audience member to the fictional town of Almost, and the AC was turned way down to mimic a brisk northern air. The pre-show playlist and offering of hot cocoa suggested a small-town Main Street coffee shop. They also set the black box in the round with seats in each corner and offstage entrances from all four sides of the room. All these elements truly helped set the tone for the slightly off-centered world of Almost Maine. However, the show on paper is just plain garbage. And not only is its construction weak, the underlying message is downright poisonous. First, some brief background. The show is a collection of quirky love story vignettes, and they all involve some element of magical realism, i.e., literal broken hearts, and literally falling for someone. Wow, it's worse than I thought. The biggest structural problem with this play is that it fails to keep me in the world it has built from scene to scene. SETO did everything they could to set and maintain the tone, but the script has a certain disjointed je ne sais quoi that destroys the continuity of place. With each new vignette, I found myself forgetting and rediscovering the magical realism, and having to reorient my brain to what I was watching. Aside from dropping the town name from time to time, and throwing in a few callbacks to characters in previous scenes, there is nothing connecting the scenes together. It feels like the playwright came up with the concept, brainstormed a bunch of quasi-romantic situations, wrote them down, and published it without developing the piece as a whole. The show is trying very hard to be cute, and it achieves only that. But beyond that, Almost Maine is masquerading as something it's not. I personally have a problem with romantic comedies and the romance in sitcoms. They fundamentally have no basis in reality. It's all pure wish fulfillment and satisfying plot, conflict, and resolution. While not inherently bad, the ubiquity of these situations in popular culture have, whether consciously or subconsciously, desperately skewed our societal expectations of what love looks like. If you take a moment to dissect most TV and movie relationships, they are unhealthy, impossible, or both. But we have been saturated with Disney princesses, Friends, and How I Met Your Mother, and when we watch these, we feel catharsis, because guess what? It's good writing. Career writers have found the cheat codes to human emotion, and we eat it up like candy. And, like with too much candy, we wind up with an unhealthy relationship stomachache. So, what's so insidious about Almost Maine? Isn't it just a part of this larger collection of love candy bars? The real trick here is that this play, on the surface, looks like a frustration of that pattern. It appears to be a totally different take on that romance thing. Do you feel like an outsider? Do you feel like mainstream culture is for the popular kids, and you never fit in with that? Well, fall into the cold, dark embrace of Almost Maine, where we'll manipulate you into relating to these quirky characters who find true love. Gosh, they're quirky. And so are you. No, these Aurora Borealis crossed lovers aren't frustrated children who don't know how to express their feelings in a healthy way. They're like colorful versions of Tim Burton designs, and you love Tim Burton because he challenges societal norms. Ignore the fact that all our characters' problems are caused by their own neediness, self-centeredness, and lack of communication. Relish in the fact that they're physical manifestations of the way you feel when you watch Dirty Dancing. Don't be fooled. Developing and maintaining lasting relationships isn't hard work. You just have to wait around until whimsical circumstances make love happen. Almost Maine targets an audience who feels on the outside of what television romance is trying to sell, but it does nothing to empower their position. It offers no real resolutions. It's a rom-com for people who fetishize awkward social interaction. As I watched the play, I thought to myself, this has to have been written by a man. A white man. At intermission, I looked up the author, and I was right. There was something about the voice and tone coming through the characters, a voice that lacked a diversity of experience. There's no crime in having a distinctive style, but it was clear every character was coming from a singular perspective. No character had their own voice, their own identity. Maybe its poisonous message isn't intentional. Maybe it's just reflective of the culture surrounding it. Maybe Almost Maine isn't an awful play. Maybe it's a cry for help. Reading My Blog is a production of me, Bradley Rolfe. If you'd like to tell me why I'm wrong about Almost Maine, I'm on Instagram and Twitter under my real name. If you'd like to skip ahead, links to my blog and other projects I'm working on can be found at anotherwhitesuburbanite.com.